Okay, here's the last two examples. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Here we go. We got it. 6x minus 7y equals 17. And negative 4x plus 6y equals negative 18. All right. So now these look kind of more complicated. Look, there are just two different numbers. There's not, one of them doesn't have a 1. Okay, so I got a 6 and a 4. I got a 7 and a 6. Ooh. What's going to happen here? Well, we got to make these, remember, we want to make these numbers match. And one of them has to be positive and one of them has to be negative. All right, so first you're going to look at the x variables. These numbers, I got a 6 and a 4. I'm going to look at the y. And you're gonna choose, you're gonna select which ones you're gonna want to have meet, right? So we can eliminate them. So I'm gonna look at the 6 and the negative 4, right? They're smaller numbers. I'm gonna have these eliminate, but obviously they're not even close right now. They have to be, remember, the numbers have to be opposite. One has to be a positive and one has to be a negative, but it has to be the same number. 6 and 4 do not eliminate, but I'm gonna work on these here. Okay, here's what you're going to have to do. Let me copy it again. Okay, so what you're going to have to do is find the LCM, which is called the LCM. It's called the least common multiple. Right? Because 6 and 4, they're not the same number. So I'm trying to look at the 6 times tables and I'm looking at the 4 times tables, right? That's multiples. The multiples are the multiplication tables of the 6s and the multiples are multiplication tables of the 4s. And what number would they have in common? Well, 6 times 1 is 6. Well, 4 doesn't go into 6. 6 times 2 is 12. You see here that the LCM would be 12. I can multiply 6 times 2 to give me a 12, and I can multiply the 4 times a 3 to give me a 12. See, so here the LCM, the least common multiple, is 12. Okay, so you got to look at the multiples or the times tables of this one and the times tables of this number and see which is the first one, right? We want to get the lowest common the lowest number possible that they have in common, right? The least common multiple. So 12 is the number I'm going to make this change into, and 12 is the number I'm going to make this change into. Well, I know 6 times what? 2 is 12. And if I multiply this term by 2, guess what? You multiply what? All the rest of them for this equation by 2. That's going to make this a 12. Great. Now what's going to make this one a 12? Not multiplying it by 2, multiplying it by 3. Multiply this by 3 is going to give me a 12. And then whatever I do to this one, remember you got to do it to all of these over here. So now we're going to come over here. What's going to be our new system? Multiply all these by 2. That's going to be what? 12x minus 14y. Oh, and I forgot to mention, one of them was already positive and one of them was already negative, so I didn't have to worry about the sign. But yeah, it has to be true. One has to be a positive 12 or a negative 12 or whatever the LCM is. 2 times 7, negative 14, the negative, right? 2 times 17 is 34. The top equation, when I multiply everything by 2, you get that. The bottom equation, when I multiply all of these terms by 3, I get negative 12x plus 18y equals 54. A negative 54, actually. All right, there's a negative sign. All right, you see how that happened? So you're going to pick one of the variables, look at the numbers, and then find the LCM. And find what number is a common multiple. And then we're going to make those equations, we're going to change these equations and make them meet, right? See, now I can solve this system. Now I can solve it. Here's my new system. But now I can solve it, right? It's ready for, and I'm copying it over. I know some of you are not going to copy it over, but you see I got a positive 12 and a negative 12. That's what I want. They have to be the same number, but opposite in sign. So opposite numbers. And what do we do now? Well, we just look at this like this, right? And we look at these here. Obviously, these eliminated. That's the whole approach to this method. Negative 14 plus 18 is the same as 18 take away 14, so that's 4y equals. And that's going to be a negative 20. That's right. And you divide by 4 and you divide by 4. You're going to get y is a negative 5. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to give you problems where they work out and they give you nice numbers. If you get a fraction, you could get fractions for problems like this, but the problems that I'm going to give you, they're going to give you nice numbers, yeah? Okay, and remember, when you find one of them, you have to what? Or when you find the first one, you have to go and find the other one. Find the other variable, the other coordinate. Okay, so remember that. You have to come up here, choose one of these, choose one of your equations here to work with. I'm going to choose the bottom one. Looks a little easier for me. And I already know that y is equal to what? I just found out here y is equal to negative 5. So I'm going to substitute there. That'll be negative 4x plus 6 times negative 5 equals negative 18. That'll be negative 4x minus 30, right? Because of this negative equals negative 18. And then to solve this, we want to solve for x, so plus 30 plus 30. You're going to get negative 4x equals. Negative 18 plus 30 is the same as 30 take away 18, so that's 12. And you divide by negative 4, you divide by negative 4, you're going to get x equals negative 3. All right, we got our two pieces to the answer, but that's not how you write the final solution. Remember, you write it in the form of a coordinate. Which one goes first? X, then y. This is the final answer here. This tells me which one's x. This one tells me which one's y. Okay, one more example like that. Number 8. All right, so that's it. 6x plus 8y equals 4. And 8x plus 10y equals 10. All right, you got to look at this. I'm looking at the 6 and the 8. I'm looking at the 10 and the 8. I'm going to work with this one over here just because 10 is so easy to work with. I'm going to choose to have these eliminate. Yeah? I'm looking at the y coordinate. Okay. So 6x plus 8y, right? I'm copying it over. I'm just copying it over again, right? Okay, I have to find the LCM. I have to think of the, right, the LCM. Let me write it over here. What is the least common multiple? The first multiple that these two numbers have in common, right? I'm going to look at the 8 times tables and I'm going to look at the 10 times tables. I always start with the bigger number. Can 8 go into 10? No, 8 cannot go into 10. What's the next multiple of 10? 20. Can 8 go into 20? No, 8 does not go into 20, not evenly. 10 times 3 is 30. Can 8 go into 30? No. Sometimes people think just multiply these and 80 works. Well, 80 does work. You can do that. But you'll have bigger numbers. And if you pay attention, look, what's the next one? 8 times 4, we tried it. No, 10 times 3 is 30. 10 times 4, 40. See, 40 works. Because 10 times 4 is 40, and 8 times what? 5 is 40. So 40 is your number here. 40 is the least common multiple. You can use 80, but you'll just have bigger numbers. You'll still get the right answer. But why do we want to work with these huge numbers when we can keep it simple? So if 40 is the LCM, your job is to get this to be a 40, and your job is to get this number to be a 40. If I'm going to get this to be a 40, I'm going to multiply this by 5. And if I'm going to make this one get to a 40, well, this one has to get multiplied by a 4. You guys agree with that? Okay, that's true. But wait, before you move on, notice that both of these are positive. I don't want positive 40 and another positive 40. One of them has to be negative. I have to make one of these a negative 40. It doesn't matter which one, okay? It doesn't matter if you put the negative on this one, or it doesn't matter if you put the negative on this one. I'm going to put the negative on the on this one. Because I want a positive 40, which this one will be the positive 40. That means this one will be the negative. Okay. Now that that's good, and I'm going to get one positive and one negative 40. If this one got multiplied by 4, don't forget these other ones have to get also multiplied by 4. And if this one got multiplied by negative 5, these other terms also have to be multiplied by negative 5. Everything in the equation, right? All the terms. All right, let's look at our new system. The top one, when I multiply everything by 5, is negative 30x, right? This, negative 5, and that's negative 40y equals, and negative 5 times 4, negative 20. And over here, this one here, multiply everything by 4, 8 times 4, 32x plus 40y equals 4 times 10, 40. Okay, we're just going to solve it here. I know these positive and negative 40, they cancel each other out, right? 40 take away 40 is 0. They cannot be both positive, or else they don't cancel out. Positive 40 and positive 40 is 80. They can't be both negative, or that'll be negative 80. It has to be one positive, one negative. And then you just see what's left over here. You're going to have 32x take away 30. That's a positive 2x. And then 40 take away 20 is 20. And you can easily solve 2x equals 20, right? Divide by 2, divide by 2. Here we go. Almost done. We got that first. We found the first of the two. Remember, we got to find another one. Let's go find the other one. Almost there. How do we find the other? Remember, we got to find both parts. You got to come up here and choose. Go back to our original system and pick one of these. I'm going to choose the 6x, right? The easier one for me. It doesn't matter which one, really. Doesn't matter. You can pick whichever one you want. You'll get the same answer anyways. I'm going to choose the top equation. 6x plus 8y equals 4. 6x plus 8y equals 4. Okay. And I just discovered, and I just found over here that x is equal to what? X is equal to 10. So here is going to be 6 times 10. That's going to be 60 plus 8y equals 4. Then how do we solve for y? 60 plus 8y equals 4. What? Well, I want to get y by itself, so I don't want this positive 60 here. Minus 60 minus 60. That's going to be 8y equals 4 take away 60 is going to be negative 56. Right? Have a calculator. And this is going to work out. Divide by 8, divide by 8. Y is equal to negative 7. All right, good. All right, like I said, I'm going to give you problems that give you some good integers, some good answers, no fractions. That's the way you do it, guys. And remember, write your answer in the form of a coordinate. Oh, negative 7. X goes first, then Y. There we go, guys. Good luck. Good luck. I hope these notes are helping. You can stop them. You can rewind them. You can watch them over again. Good luck.